Hello, I am live. Not yet. Okay. So, if you're joining me while I'm live, I'm going to sit and work over my wraparound cover for Only Death Can Save Us. I've done the sketch and I want to beef it out a little bit with some pencil rendering. Some of the time I'd leave my work this way and just ink straight over the top, but I want to make sure it's right, and because obviously it's the cover to my book, so I want to get that just so before I ink it. If you're watching on the replay, thank you very much for watching me on the replay. You can find me at russleach.com, comicbookblackbelt.com, and the book is onlydeathcansavus.com. You can sign up for the email list there. I'll have an Indiegogo up pretty soon, and you can also find me hanging around on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. So yeah, let's get the party started, as it were. Evening, Marv. Nice of you to join. I don't know if there'll be anybody else, but I'm just going to sit here and draw. So once again, BB Black Dog is making an appearance in the background. I'm going to just put them into a layer. And just get myself up to size. As I said before, I work at about 55% of the page size, and that works out roughly to the real art size I'd be using if I was working on a piece of A3 in the real world. This one I'm going to go full digital on. I'm not going to do any traditional work on this. I'm just going to go for digital. But the other bits that I've been showing for the last couple of days, there's Conquest that I'm just penciling out at the moment, finishing up, and there's D, and there's one of Satana as well. I'm going to print those out and ink them up by hand, I think, so that I can use them as a layer or a level on the Indiegogo campaign, as well as a few pages from the book itself. So I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more on faces. I think it needs to be a little bit longer, actually. That's better. So hopefully everybody's having a good evening or afternoon, or actually or morning if you're watching on the replay. Whatever you're doing while you might be watching me do this, extend that out a bit more. Still getting used to, as you could see where I was messing around with the eraser there, I'm still getting used to Clip Studio. Still got a bit of muscle memory where I'm doing things that I would normally do in Photoshop, having to stop myself from doing it. The thing that caught me first was right-clicking the pen, because in Photoshop that would give me a menu to change my nib size, which was quite handy actually, and I don't quite know how to do that in this. So I'll just go over there and go to the panel and do it. But it took me a while to get over. As you can see, the sketch is already to a reasonable degree. Like I say, normally with a page, I'd probably not go too much further than the sketch as far as the finished art is concerned before I went to inks, but because this is the cover, I just want to make sure of everything before I start mucking around with inking it up. And then once I'm happy, I'll ink it. I can get back into the right size now. It's getting closer for that. Just getting that angle of that right. It's the strap to his to the sort of the leather holdall that he keeps his scythe in. So go over the top of his chest, and then once again over his shoulder. So it's about that. I'll get some. I'll be going on to, or I presume I'll be going on. I've been asked to go on Jeff's show. He's doing 100 days of making comics, so I have to get up early in the morning, mind. So 10 o'clock Mountain Time in America will be 5 o'clock in the morning UK time. But Jeff Lafferty's just such a great artist. Yeah, I can't possibly miss going on with him, and have to be set up so I can draw. Although I think I'll be drinking a lot of coffee. Anyone else here? Oh, right, Muttman. Nice, man. Thanks very much. And yeah, just the two of you. Really nice. Thanks very much, both of you, for turning up. Russ, what caused you to make the leap from Photoshop to Clip Studio? I've got an old copy of CS5, and I bought Clip Studio because I was told how great it was. And to be honest with you, I was a stick in the mud, and it took me forever to boot the thing up and actually use it. And the reason I ended up swapping was because for some reason in my copy of Photoshop, my brushes had gone mad. I don't know what was going on. Something was going on with my mouse, and it's still doing something weird. And what had happened was occasionally I'd like deleted a brush or done something to a brush, and I couldn't work out exactly what it was, and I couldn't. This sounds so boomerish, and I couldn't find the brushes that I'd bought, and also I'd fiddled with them as well, and I'd not saved a backup. It's a really sort of silly thing to have done. And so I thought, oh, sod it, I'll go to Clip Studio, because Clip Studio is set up to do this kind of art rather than Photoshop. It's just you can do it with it. And I was really impressed with the brushes when I got here. You know, when I finally booted it up and started messing with it. And it stuck really, and I'm really enjoying using it now. There are things I think I like doing some text in Photoshop, believe it or not, and graphics I'll continue to do in Photoshop, and I might even go back and do the color. I'm not sure. I'm going to play with that, but certainly the penciling and the inking will be in Clip Studio from now on. Really like the brushes. Someone was asking me about the G. Is that the ink brush? The G brush? The G pen, that's it. Because I really want to use the brushes, but the G pen it's just great. It just does exactly what I want it to do. So I tend to stick with it. And my art is of a certain style, so I tend to use like a cleaner brush, and that works really well for me. They're all wrong. Should be further up there. That's better. There's so many things you don't really need to do. I don't really need to rub this stuff out. It's just for my own pleasure, really. And just, you know, knowing it's just that extra stage closer to inking, knowing what I'm going to get at the end of the process. Just a little too loud. Can you actually see? Oh, thanks, Marv. Yeah, I really like Jeff. He's a great guy, and he's uber talented as well. Can you actually see? I'm going to take a quick look at this in YouTube land. Oh yeah, you can. Just checking to see that you can actually see the light pencils under there. You can. So the aim of this week and now into next week is to get this cover done and coloured up, and Conquest D, Satana. I've also got the other two characters as well. Famine and War. There's War, and there's Famine. A little bit rougher sketch there. So I've got all of them. Those guys, they're going to be those four. The four horsemen are going to be postcards, a set of postcards, as well as a pin-up in the book. So there'll be a perk. Then I also I'm looking at some other artists. I've already spoken to 3 other artists who are happy to do a pin-up in the book, which is great. Because I'd like to see some other people's take on the main character. Actually, they can draw what they like, to be honest. And then I might offer those as prints as well, depending on how far we get in the campaign. So anybody who's watching right now, who hasn't watched before, I'll make the usual apology. I'm really crap at talking while I'm drawing. That's why BB Black Dog is on in the background. So you've got something to listen to when I'm not yakking away. Just not very good at doing too many things at once. also decided to change the design of the imps. They're a bit more sort of orc-like now. I did have them with lots of teeth and stuff, but I thought they looked a bit too threatening. I wanted them to make them look a bit more comedic, and also a bit more troll-like, sort of like the Asgardian trolls. So I gave them that more orcish look. So I'm going to have to go back and adjust some of the stuff I've already done, but that's okay. Unfortunately, it's the kind of little things you do, I think, when you're not completely 100% committed, which I wasn't. So I managed to get the 9-page preview out, and I still haven't got a newsletter out. It's sitting there ready to go. I've now got a PO box and what have you, but because I was working for other people, because I had other deadlines, I just could not give it enough time to have a clear head on things. So I did some bits and pieces, and I didn't have enough time to think about them, but I have now, because I've got myself committed to 3 months of drawing this guy up and launching the Indiegogo, and hopefully bringing death. That sounds awful, bringing death to the world. I don't mean it like that. Bringing D, let's call it this. Let's give him Chrissy's nickname for him. Bringing D to the world so that people can love him for the magnificent hero that he is. So I wouldn't normally take pencils up to this level if I'm inking them myself, but I just want to get it right with this one. Pretty much pouring my heart and soul into the book, which is what all of you do. If you're anybody out there who's watching, draw your own books, you know what it's like. You give it your all, you give it everything, and I just want to make sure this is as good as I can make it, and also hopefully, make it so that other people enjoy it as much as I'm enjoying making it, and that they want to read it. And also I want to make a book that you don't just read, but it's something that you want to keep, in your collection. So I think that's the way comics are going, with the mainstream being the way it is. It's so difficult to get into, mainstream books. I was working for Marvel, albeit not directly. I mean, I was directly edited by Marvel editors, or a Marvel editor, whilst working on Draw the Marvel Way. But you'd think maybe, seeing as I'd done that book, I could maybe get in some way. I could maybe get to someone, but but it just didn't happen. My editor over at Panini was obviously unable to get me that connection direct to the Marvel editor, and also from that's not right. It's not right. Also from Hachette as well. So it just didn't happen. And of course, if I'm doing a book like that, you'd think that I'd be able to, in some way make a connection and say, well, I'm doing this, give me a chance on one of your books, but just wasn't happening. So the way forward is your own IP. I already own a couple of smaller IPs and with other people, but I really wanted to do something just for myself, and that's where D was born, in that desire to do something that was an homage in some ways to the Bronze Age of the comics that I love, and the kind of action and fun that I wanted to see, in modern comics as well, which I kind of wasn't seeing, to be honest. So as much as it would have been nice to have been given an opportunity, at the same time, maybe my heart wouldn't have been in it anyway, I don't know. But like I say, hopefully other people will enjoy the character in the book as much as I am drawing the guy. So I think there would be some big creases there, I think, because it's kind of a leather leather suit. Don't want to put too much in there. But right. It's the other marvellous thing about drawing digitally is not having to mess about with my light box. merge that now. Okay, sort that out. So I think maybe the next live stream I might do some more inking. But I'm going to be doing some penciling on the main book as well. Rar. See. Oop. Oh yeah, Salazar. Thanks very much for coming. Oh, Ronnie as well. Nice to see you. Thanks to everyone turning up. It's very nice. Lots of lovely support. Cool. Cool. Thanks, Ronnie. This is the trickiest thing on this, I think, will be getting the line weights right on the ink. Making sure that the different characters pop out from each other. There's a lot going on. I don't feel that I draw particularly high detail. But when there's a lot going on, there's a lot going on. So today, I got a fridge delivered for my kitchen. I had my kitchen renovated just at the start of the year, and then because the beer virus turned up, I had to wait for my new fridge. Luckily, I had an old fridge, and it turned up, and it was kind of like a retro kind of thing, so it was quite sort of rounded edges and stuff. And so the door worked on a slightly different hinge from a normal fridge. So when I stuck it in the hole, I couldn't open the bloody door. So I've got to send it back. That's good. Get a different fridge. That was quite annoying. Still, first world problems, eh? I'm myself lucky I've got a kitchen at all. It's going to be difficult to light this one because there's so many overlapping characters. So I think what I'll do is I'll go for like a global sort of overall light source. Just light everything up. Maybe put the shadow towards the bottom like I've been doing on this dog monster. And I think that'll probably work. Do some cheating, of course. Big old lump here. What's going on? There's a chain going on there, I think. So I can afford to change that about. No, I don't want to fill that in. Another one of those silent moments. Talk amongst yourselves. If you're watching this on the replay, don't bother putting this on if you just want to listen to something. This is definitely a watch video, not a listen to video. Bit weird drawing things with only 2 fingers. You'd think it'd be really easy, but it's just a bit odd. But So I suppose I'm going to have to put some kind of time limit on this. So what I might do is pick something out to finish off. So I think I might pick out the siren character, which is this woman that's slightly, the snake woman that's slightly closer to the camera. It's coming on actually. Quite pleased with that. Actually, she might be a bit too big to do. Let's do the imp. Let's do the imp. So I'll zoom in just a little bit closer for the facial features and pick the nib size up a little bit. Something else I wanted to do as well was give them irises rather than. Well, actually, that's the other thing I was going to do as well. Let's give them irises because there's some points in the story where I require the imps to look. So just leaving their eyes white, which is a nice effect in certain areas. Wasn't useful for the story, so. Probably making all kinds of facial contortions at the moment. And I'm going to give them in the last version of my imps, they all had quite sharp teeth and they had no lips, which made them kind of look like the dog creature a little bit. But and they were great. Great design. I thought they were a cool design. I thought they looked evil and nasty, but they couldn't. When it came to putting them into the story, much like with the eyes and the irises not having lips, just made them really difficult to contort and to show any kind of character, as it were. I mean, there's none of the imps stand out. It's just a couple of scenes where they talk, and I wanted them to be like evil, horrible, impish things and seem sort of evil for the sake of being evil. You know, they actually enjoy being at the whim of the bad guy Satana, and having them having them in the design that I did have them just wasn't working. But that'll be fine. That'll be something for the book. I'm going to put some commentary in the book. Give him some whiskers there. I'm going to put some commentary in the book and some design stuff and what have you. Right, so take that back down again. 55. And they're all pretty gross, so I could have more spill and everything everywhere. Put a high collar on him. I went and looked up some armor as well. And looked around at different ancient armors, and quite liked a lot of the armored leather and metal from samurai and just ancient Japan. So I tried to incorporate a little bit of that into it. In fact, Satana has got a lot more of that in it. I took away his dogleg ankles and put more normal legs on him. Again, I'd got some way through the story and it started making it quite awkward for no good reason. I mean, there was no reason specifically to give him dog legs, apart from just to make him look a bit stranger, but no real need for it. It wasn't helping the character. So I thought I'd sort of do a bit more sort of samurai-inspired armor on his bottom half, wrapped it up with the belt there, and then get some flowing trails from the binding around his middle, and then carry on with the armor stuff that I'd already had on him before. And yeah, I think it's just to add a little bit of visual drama, just to pump it up a little bit. Where was it? Oh, there's my cover. Just to pump it up a little bit. And that's like what I was saying before, is that I'd given it some thought and I'd gone through some designs and what have you, but because I was working for other people, I wasn't really able to give it 100% of my attention. And I know that's a luxury. There's plenty of people out there that can't give it 100% of their attention. They have proper jobs, not like me, and they manage to do it. But so it's not much of an excuse. But it was just something that just fell that way. I just once I could give it my undivided attention, I found myself looking at what I'd done previous to it and going, right. And I wrestled with it, because the last thing you want to do is change things for the sake of it. Just because you've come back to it, you don't want to double guess yourself and go, oh no, that's no good, when actually there's nothing wrong with what you've done. You're just seeing it in a new light. But because it helped me tell the story in the pages, I thought it was the right thing to do. So this is uber fun. Really enjoying this. I mean, this is going to change its look again. The way that I'm using brushes in Clip Studio, I'm using a much thicker brush now. So where I'm filling around with pencils here, so for instance, I'm flicking in some shade and some detail in there. That's not the way it's going to be when I come in at it with a brush, or with the G pen, I should say. I'm going to use much thicker lines and feather it in with the actual brush itself, rather than drawing a line and fake feathering over the top. It's coming on. Save that there. Let's see what's. Thanks, Salazar. That's really kind. Thank you. Captain Fuckhead. Hey, nice to see you. This Captain is the cover art for Only Death Can Save Us. So anybody else coming in late or watching on the replay and haven't caught it, this is the cover work for my book, Only Death Can Save Us. I mostly digitally ink and pencil. So actually the sketch that you see in the background is not far off the level that I would normally take my pencils to, and then I'd go straight to digital inks. But because this is the cover, I really want to nail this before I go into black line. And then the other stuff I've been showing off are the other characters. There's one of D and the main bad guy, Satana. And they are penciled up reasonably high level because I plan on printing them out and actually doing those in traditional inks, so they're part of the Indiegogo. When I get it going, there'll be one of the levels getting original artwork. There will also be I'll also do some of the pages as original artwork as well. I've got a few splash pages. So the other pages that are sequential art will be done all digitally, but the few splash pages, much like these images, will be done traditionally. Well, the inking will be done traditionally, and they're also the Four Horsemen are going to be part of a postcard set, which will be one of the tiers. Don't know quite what's happened there. Oh, it's waiting for me. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. And I'm back in a room. Okay. So been on for nearly an hour now. I'm going to finish up this imp, I think, so maybe another 20 minutes. And that'll be it for the night. Actually, maybe it won't be 20 minutes. Oh, actually, a bit of chain there. Do. That ink campaigns, digital pencils, printed and traditionally inked. Something. Yeah. I just I really like around 10 p.m. Look for Comic Mark on YouTube. It's out. Hello. Yeah. I'll come and have a look at that later. Cool. Yeah. I've always penciled traditionally, but it really this doesn't feel any different. Not especially the pencils. And obviously, I do what I do mostly on digitally because it's quick and it's painless. Dog can't eat it, all that kind of stuff. Don't spill your ink on it, that kind of thing. But you don't end up with a solid piece of, a physical piece of artwork at the end. So I can carry on doing things quickly and painlessly, and still hopefully be able to, give out something that people can keep. I have got to find a printer. What I've done in previous times is actually print it out onto high grade cartridge paper and doing it that way. And people don't mind because it's still a piece of art. But for scanning it back in for doing page makeup and getting it printed up, really, it should be on Bristol board so that I get smooth lines. So I'm going to have to find a local printer, like Photocopy House or something, that will print out my files onto Bristol board. Because I don't want to be faffing about with light boxes. Finishing my sentences. No, that's so nearly there. Just gonna use some lazy Nezumi. I haven't used it all day because I've been inking. But I do like a proper circle. Last bit. Oh, they're all, I'm going to make them round. Links, in chains. What a pain in the arse. Not too much just going off the edge of the page. Okay. That's about that, I think. Right. Getting there. Absolutely getting there. I'm hoping this is going to be an impressive cover. I mean, I know you always want that to be the case, but, and I don't mean not blowing my own trumpet. I'm just saying I hope it's, you know, it's going to be it'll stand out. So, for instance, if I could get it into comic shops on a shelf, which I'd quite like to. I'm talking to JD from Unstoppable Comics about maybe doing some distribution out there, but even then, just, you know, in the listening to people like Perch and Thinking Critical on YouTube, it's, you know, it's worth looking at doing things like you know, comic book shop packages, you know, that you can send out maybe 5 for a knockdown price, and you know, just to get it on shelves. I think that would be a really good thing. Let's just knock that back a bit. Okay. Right. Getting there. Okay, so let's have a final look and see who's around. 210 GSM card. You can get A3 printers that can handle Bristol board up to 3. Oh, really? Because my A3 printer, just, I've tried Bristol board through it and it just doesn't want to know. It likes heavyweight cartridge paper, but not that. So I'm just going to have to go and find someone else to do it. But there you go. Thanks very much. It's getting there. It's getting there. So to everyone that has come and seen me live, Muttman, thank you so much for coming in. Marv, of course. Ronnie, Crimson L Comics. Salazar, thank you for coming to see me. Obviously, the captain. And I think that was everybody. Didn't want to miss anybody out. If I have, I'm really sorry. I'm just really crap at names. So thanks very much for coming and joining me for a bit of digital penciling this evening or this afternoon. And if you're watching on the replay at any point during the day, you can find me at russleach.com, at comicbookblackbelt.com. You can find out more about this book. There's a downloadable PDF of the first draft of the 9 pages with a bit of a cliffhanger, so you can see kind of where it's starting over at onlydeathcansavus.com, and you can sign up to my email list at all of these places. And then obviously when I do get onto Indiegogo, which will be not far away because I'm planning on putting up a holding page, you can also obviously sign up there as well. You can find me on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook if you want a chat, or if you just want to leave a comment in the comment section. I'm more than happy to chat about comic book art and comic books. Thanks to everyone who watched me on the live feed, and thanks to anyone who's watching me on the replay. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Anybody who is subscribed to me already, thank you. Seriously, it means a lot to people who are watching and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, why not? But seriously, I'm nearly at 500, and I have a graphic novel, a trade paperback of work that I did for Unstoppable Comics, which I'm quite proud of, and I will be giving that away to a random subscriber, and I'll send it anywhere in the world. I don't mind. So why not subscribe? Thanks very much to everyone for joining me. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the dojo again for another video real soon. Bye-bye.